Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with today's pregame report between the Edmonton Oilers and the Anaheim Ducks. Now, this is not going to be an easy out for Edmonton. They are back at home for the first time in what seems like forever. It's been about a month now since the Oilers last played at Rogers Place, and the Anaheim Ducks have played Edmonton very, very strong all season. They lost 5-3 earlier in December, but the Oilers did come out with a 3-2 win in their last meeting back in January. So for Edmonton, they're looking to string together some wins here after going on that 5-game losing streak. They were able to beat the Carolina Hurricanes, so let's see if they can, build some momentum here leading into the trade deadline and the final stretch of the season. And for the Anaheim Ducks, they are in that wild card race in the Western Conference. Do I think they're a wild card team? Do I think they can get in? Probably not. But for a young team that's trying to prove themselves and playing desperate playoff-like hockey at this time of year, Edmonton's got to be ready to go. If Edmonton is not ready to go, this could get ugly and the Oilers could end up realistically, you can lose to anyone whenever if you're not playing well, but for Anaheim, they seem to have Edmonton's number a little bit this year. We'll see if the Oilers can find a way to match that energy, that speed, and get some timely saves, and also get some timely goals as well. So if you enjoyed this pregame report, make sure to smash that like button. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we get closer and closer to 5,000 subscribers. It's incredible to even think about, but we're not there yet, so I won't get too excited. Let's take a look at the lineups, then the game day stats, then the keys to the game, and then, of course, my score prediction. Please let me know all of your thoughts and predictions in the comments section below. Now, taking a look at the projected lineup here, this was from yesterday's practice. Victor Arvidsson did not skate. I'm pretty sure it was just maintenance for him because he was one of the Four Nations guys. Not sure if I don't think it's trade related. He does have a no move clause. So, Nugent Hopkins with Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman, that will be Edmonton's top line. For Connor McDavid, he's looking to find a little bit of a groove here. I have a good feeling about his game now that he's back home. He's rested. It seems like he hadn't been able to get home for a long time either. He had all that time off during the Four Nations where he wasn't actually off. He had to play hockey, whereas the rest of the group here, for the most part, were able to enjoy their time off with friends, family. So for Connor McDavid, I do think now that he's been back at Edmonton for a couple days, he's probably had a couple of burgers from McDavid's in Edmonton. For those of you unaware, there's a couple McDonald's locations that change their name to McDavid's in Edmonton. So I'm sure McDavid is well rested. He's full of nutrition and ready to go tonight. Zach Hyman will be on their flank there. Second line, Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl and Matthew Savoie. Now, I really hope Matthew Savoie actually gets to play in the top six. I really hope he gets to play with Leon Draisaitl. Assuming Victor Arvidsson is not playing and or is going to be bumped down the lineup here. Matthew Savoie, he didn't play the last couple games on that road trip. A lot of fans like myself were very disappointed that Knobloch continued to sit him when he was one of the only bright spots earlier in the trip against Philly and against Washington. So for Matthew Savoie, let's see what he has here, right? If he's going to be up with the big club, why not play him? Why not showcase him a bit? Give him 15 minutes a night. Let's see what you have in the hometown kid and give him an opportunity, right? And I guess the logic for not playing him those last two games on the road trip was you're trying to get your veteran group back in the win column and maybe you don't want the kid exposed to the negativity or the pressure. But at the same time, if he's up with the big boys, he's going to be around it anyways, so I don't know. I think Matthew Savoie, you let him play, see what you have. Obviously, if you don't like his game, you send him back to the minors. If you like his game, then maybe he can be an impact piece heading into the trade deadline here. Third line, Matthias Janmark with Adam Henrique and Connor Brown. I really don't want that line to stick together. I really dislike those three players on the same line. So we'll see if they can hold their own. We'll see if they can just stay above water even just a little bit. I don't remember the last time those three had an expected goals percentage above 50%. I'd love to be proven wrong tonight. Adam Henrique did have a shorthanded goal against the Carolina Hurricanes, assisted by Matthias Janmark. So maybe that's the signs that things are starting to turn around for those players specifically. Fourth line, Jeff Skinner with Kasperi Kapanen and Corey Perry. And I feel so bad for Jeff Skinner. He does not deserve to be on that fourth line. And I really hope he makes the most of his minutes. I hope he scores a goal or two and finds a way to get himself back up the lineup. If you look at this forward group, I think the optimal trade deadline acquisitions, other than a goaltender, because goaltender is still number one to me, would be to get a top six scoring winger so that you can bump, a guy like Podkolzin down the lineup. I know there's a lot of talk lately about the Oilers' lack of physicality. I know Jason Gregor I think it was Jason Greger was asking about the physicality with Chris Knobloch at yesterday's news conference. Mentioned that the Oilers hitting is down about 40% this year, which I guess it kind of makes sense because the team is older and they are slower. So, they're not able to chase hits like maybe they could in the past. They don't have that foot speed to get back in the play. So I think hitting is an overrated stat until the playoffs hit. So the Oilers will need a little bit of grit and sandpaper for the playoffs. I don't disagree with that. But for the regular season, I don't mind the load management. I prefer puck possession over body checks anyways. So we'll see how this lineup fits as we get closer to the deadline. We'll see if Stan Bowman is able to work some magic and move out some of these no-move clause contracts that have been given to these players and see if they're able to improve that forward group a bit. Now let's talk about the defense. Ekholm with Bouchard, likely the top pair. Nurse should maybe get back in the lineup, but it's not 100% confirmed that he will be. Kulak with Emberson. Again, Brett Kulak, he missed practice yesterday. He was a little under the weather. And then they called up Cam Dineen on an emergency basis with Troy Stetcher there. So Cam Dineen, for those of you unaware, he has been in Bakersfield all season. That's kind of where he's been the last couple of years. He always shows well during preseason, but of course, he's not someone that, even though he, on merit, he would have deserved to stay up. I think it was last year. Last season, he had a really good preseason. He had a goal or two, had a few points, and looked great. But obviously, they have their defensemen set in stone, and it's really hard to get in there unless there's an injury. But for Cam Dineen, if one of these left D men are unable to go and he's able to find himself in the lineup tonight, that'll be fun to watch. So keep an eye out for him if he manages to get in. I doubt he will, but we'll see. And then when it comes to the goaltending, who is starting? Well, I would personally go with Calvin Pickard. I thought Pickard played great against the Carolina Hurricanes, and I think Stu Skinner just needs a little bit of extra time off. I think you just give him a few extra days of rest, let him get his head clear, let him get prepared, and get in the zone for the home stretch. And maybe the Oilers can also try and find a upgrade for him in the crease. Who knows? But Calvin Pickard, he does deserve the start after how well he played against Carolina. I would be shocked if Pickard does not get the start. All right, now let's take a look at the game day stats here. So for the Anaheim Ducks, they are 26, 26, and 7, 6-3-1 in their last 10. So they are playing some pretty good hockey lately. If we take a look at the advanced metrics, expected goals for, they rank 31st in the NHL. Corsi for, they ranked 30th, and shots for percentage, they rank 30th. So their shot and possession metrics are awful. However, they have been much better over the last month and a half or so. So if I were to have done the splits, Anaheim's been kind of middle of the road over the last month. So for the Oilers, you look over there and for fans too, you're like, oh man, this should be an easy win. Nah, nothing's easy in the NHL. And the Anaheim Ducks, they do play hard, they do play fast, and they are difficult to go up against. Power play. Special teams, that's the word I'm looking for. Special teams for the Anaheim Ducks are also not good. Their power play ranks 31st in the NHL this season. Their penalty kill ranks 28th. They only scored 2.56 goals per game, and they give up over 3 goals per game, 30th and 21st ranked, respectively. For the Edmonton Oilers, obviously, if you look over on their end, on paper, this should be an easy win. But like I said, nothing's easy in the NHL. They're 35, 21, and 4, 3-6-1 in their last 10 games. So again, trying to find their footing, trying to get their game back to what was an elite level earlier this season. Expected goals for ranks 4th in the league. Power play ranks 7th. Penalty kill ranks 26th. The penalty kill has been much better lately, so hopefully they can keep that up. Goals for per game ranks 8th. Goals against per game ranks 13th. Corsi for ranks 4th, and shots for percentage ranks 3rd. That road trip really did a number to the Oilers' advanced metrics. They were basically top 2 in every possession and shot metric available until that 5-game skid. But beating Carolina, let's see if they are able to continue to climb back upwards, get those numbers back into a elite position, and find a way to score some goals. Because that's the other thing that the Oilers are struggling with is goal scoring. So hopefully they're able to pot a few tonight. Now, keys to the game for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's get the crowd into it early, right? The earlier that you can get the crowd into it, the better you'll feel about your game. The Oilers have not played at Rogers Place in almost a month, so the crowd's going to be itching, right? They're going to be itching to get that first goal, scream for that first goal. They're going to have their drinks and popcorn, and it's going to be a blast tonight at Rogers Place. I'm also pretty sure it is like college night or university night or something. They do those like special packages for those of you who are in post-secondary for like cheap tickets. So you're going to have probably a younger crowd in there tonight as well. Get them into it early. Let's get the crowd into it early and feed off that energy. The other key to the game for Edmonton, puck movement and also getting some timely saves. It goes a long way in the confidence of the players in front of the goaltender when they get those timely saves. We saw that with Calvin Pickard against Carolina. Let's see if they can follow it up 2 games in a row. Now, for the Anaheim Ducks, their keys to the game, if they want to have some success tonight, attack off the rush. The Oilers have been struggling a lot at defending the rush. They give up a lot of goals off the rush, and if Anaheim is able to utilize their speed and maybe take advantage of a Cam Denis that might be in the lineup, not a whole lot of NHL experience there, they could make life miserable for the Oilers. So Anaheim attacking off the rush, weather the storm. Anaheim, if they weather that early storm, and if, let's say, it's 0-0 after 1, that bodes well for them as the game progresses, because the Oilers, they get in their own heads. If they're not scoring off of grade A chances, the longer a game goes, then the frustration sets in. Then they just start firing pucks from everywhere. And Lucas Dostal in the past has been an absolute menace to Edmonton in terms of his ability to make saves. So for the for the Anaheim Ducks, if they weather that early storm against Edmonton, I like their chances. And of course, biggest key to the game for the Ducks is getting that first goal. The sooner you can get Edmonton playing from behind, the better it is for you, because, again, the Oilers are a team that is desperate for points in the standings, just like Anaheim is, but it is always easier to play with the lead than it is trying to chase games, and the Oilers have been chasing way too many games lately, so that's a good key to the game for Anaheim to have. My players to watch, I'm going to have Connor McDavid for the Oilers. Like I said, I think now that he's home, he's well rested. I think we're going to see his game turn around in the final quarter of the season, the little stretch run to the playoffs, and then my other player to watch is Ryan Strome for the Ducks. I don't know if it's just recency bias, but I feel Ryan Strome is always producing against Edmonton. So he is my player to watch for the Ducks. And my score prediction, who's going to win this hockey game? I'm going to go 5-3 Oilers. I'm feeling pretty good about this one for Edmonton. Historically, this team has played very well against Anaheim, despite the fact that Anaheim has played much better against them this season. I do like Edmonton's chances, the fact that they're back at home. I know usually teams after a long road trip, there's that little lull. A lot of times teams will lose that first game at home, but they've had a couple days off to kind of get that rest in, get that lull out of their system. I think they're going to be shot out of a cannon tonight, and I think they're going to give the crowd lots to cheer about. So that is my pregame report. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, tell someone that you love them and fight like a kid, fight like Ben. We'll see you in the postgame show tonight, folks. I've totally blanked on the end of the video here. See you in the post-game show. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Tell someone that you love them. Fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers. That's what I was trying to figure out.